special guest.
Hi guys, my name's Arriyanna.
This is my roommate. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how my roommate got me arrested. She did actually. Yeah, we're just going to jump right in. Okay, so as many of you guys know, right now the world is changing. We're in a revolution right now. So a lot of shit is happening. So we decided to go protest because of George Floyd and everything, and police brutality and everything that's going on. So Arriyanna texts me and she's like, yeah, you know, we're gonna go protest. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then she texts me, she's like, you know what, never mind, I have a bad feeling about it. And then 3 seconds later, she's like, never mind, we're gonna go. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
It wasn't just it was like a really bad feeling.
We're in summer school right now, so we did our classes and everything. She's like, you ready? You know, we're packing ice packs, water, portable chargers. We're like, yeah, we finna be ready for everything. Like, yeah, Band-Aids, we finna be ready for anything. So we get there, whatever. We get at this first area, and it's kind of like mellow, nothing really going on. We like,
they talking to the police chief. He's like, I don't want to talk to him.
So we're just like, we're over here asking people like, oh, you know, where's like the protest at? Because they were actually having a big protest in Houston that day, and they're like, oh, it's down there. So you know, we're like, okay, let's just walk. I have an Apple Watch. I was like, yeah, this, you know, I can get my little fitness.
Remember the Apple Watch. Remember the Apple Watch. Okay, so there was another police chief, and I don't know his name. I think everyone's been talking about him. Originally, we were, you know, listening to what he was saying, and like people were just mad. So a lot of the things they were saying, I was like, that's stuff that y'all need to be getting upset with your like representatives, like the people that are, you know, who you elected in office.
That's when like we continue to go. Then that's when like the protest actually starts again. So like, okay.
So we're walking, and like they're just walking in silence, holding the thing. So I'm like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, and nobody joined in with me. I'm just in there like, and so then another girl, I guess she had done protests before, so she's like, when I say Black Lives, you say Matter. So we just kept doing that over, and then like people were joining, I kind of felt bad. I was like, dang, I was trying to start a revolution, nobody was trying to go for it. So we just kept walking. We walked down. I remember there was this like roundabout kind of thing, and that's when it really started to get like energetic. So like the police officers, they were down there, like people were like, you know, still in their face, like holding up their signs saying Black Lives Matter. So then after that kind of slowed down, people were like, okay, let's go, let's walk, let's, you know, protest, let's march. And so that was like the fun part, to be honest. Like we were walking down the streets, like we were, you know, walking like on the streets, on the sidewalks as well. And so we were just, you know, chanting. It was a good time. Like we have live videos of it because we went live on it. So it was a lot of fun. Like at that point, like, you know, protesting for something that you believe in. We truly believe that Black Lives Matter. Like we, you know, believe that the death of George Floyd, you know, was a terrible incident. Like there was people on the street, and where like music was playing, people had speakers and stuff, cars were like honking their horns. We're like, yeah, let's go. All right, so this is where it took for the worst. Okay, so we left the police. I don't know where they at, but all of a sudden they done caught up to us out of nowhere. And so that's when people started getting agitated and started throwing water bottles at them. And then people started to throw rocks. So when they started to throw rocks, that's when the police started, you know, to turn up. So imagine like policemen like right here and other one right here. So they're blocking your access from leaving you. So they're like pushing you in. So me and Arriyanna, we're like, hold up. First, I wanted to leave, okay? I was like, you know what? I wanted to see what was going on. Like, didn't think that the police were gonna start like, you know, arresting people.
Next thing you know, we get locked in. Me and Arriyanna look at each other, and then some people were like, hey, there's a fence, break down the fence.
Yeah.
So there's like a construction site. So we ended up walking through there or whatever, and there's a fence. And they're like, oh, like you gotta either break down the fence or jump over it so you can escape. Mind you, Sarah,
I've never jumped a fence before.
I ended up jumping over. I had leggings on. I ended up ripping my leggings, and like it cut me where like basically my left side of my leggings were cut, and so like my booty cheek was hanging out from the bottom, and then my leg was covered, and I was just like,
in the moment it was like we're all like we don't know what to do. Like everybody's trying to get away from the police. So me, I'm like, if I don't jump this fence, I'm going to get caught by the police. Amber might get me able to go, but I'm gonna go to jail. So I was like, you know what, like let's do it. So I jumped the fence. Good thing there was a guy there that was like willing to, like, you know, he was like jump. So I jumped into his arms. I latched onto his arm and, you know, got down. And we jumped the fence and there's open land so that you can just run and, you know, go our own way. No, it was literally boxed in. So we're really trapped. There's nowhere to go.
So, you know, we find out we locked in. We're like, damn, where can we go? Where can we go? So we go to this one corner and we start putting my little girl, officer, please. Like, I don't know what happened. I got pushed here. I got pushed in here. He's like, just calm down. If you guys come, we won't like do anything. We'll let you guys go. So this one guy go, right?
They end up arresting him.
I was like, y'all lying.
So they started getting arrested. I called my mom. I was like, my mom wants you to know this before I go in, because I already knew she was nervous about, well, I think both of our parents were nervous about us going to protest. It was more so like, it really was like, it was intensified when I called my mom and told her, like, Mom, I'm about to get locked up. And she's like freaking out. So then she had to calm down because she was like, okay, well, now we got to figure out what we're going to do to get out of this. So I called her. I called a judge. He didn't answer the phone. I called a lawyer. He didn't answer the phone. So I'm like, oh, dang, the only thing I can do is call my mama. I didn't want to. She was the last resort because I did not want to talk to her.
I wasn't calling anybody. I'm like, trying to look again.
The police were like, if y'all go, or if y'all comply, y'all go on this side. For everybody else, you know, they was gonna stay in the little fence. So Amber was the first person to go, so she went out through the fence, and I was like, well, dang, I kind of gotta go now. So
I ended up walking out, ended up being arrested. They put zip ties on me, and I actually did, but you know, it's healing. But yeah, they put the zip ties around me, and I was just like, these are kind of tight.
They were tight.
I was like, hold up. I was like, so they ended up like, I had a backpack and everything. They like checked it, like, oh, do you have any narcotics or anything? I'm like, no, pat me down or whatever. At the time I was wearing a wig, so this woman, she like patted me down and she was like, oh, I gotta lift up your hat. I was like, oh, I have a wig. Like, I knew that it was sliding back. Like, I was just like, I have a wig on, I'm sorry. And she lifted, she's like, okay. Then I was like, can you like put it down a little harder? And she did, and I was like, thank you.
Not me.
And so when they got Arriyanna,
when they got me, another woman, I think it was the same lady, she must not like me.
No,
so she's like, oh, is this a weave? I was like, yeah, it's a wig. And she was like, okay, well, you gotta take that off. I was like, dang. But the good thing is I didn't have braids under it because I didn't go get braids yet. So I had it down into a ponytail. So thank God it was in a ponytail. And they let me keep my hat, because I had a hat on too. So thank God they let me keep my hat. But I was like, that was kind of like a stripping of my womanhood. Because
we walking like we real life criminals. Like, they set us down on the sidewalk. I was just like,
I couldn't get up. And they set me down. The man was like, come on.
I was like, what? Y'all for real right now? I was already irritated because they really had us like laid out and stuff. So, you know, we had to be in a line. They start like, you know, taking paperwork for us, asking our name, our date of birth, things like that. And I'm like, okay, so what are we being arrested for? They were like, hold up, let me.
Yeah, they did not know we were being arrested.
They were just arresting us, and that day they arrested 1,600 people. So they were just arresting us.
No, our charge was obstruction of roadways, a misdemeanor. So
they put us on a little school bus. It was really cold in there.
It was nice though. That was a nice little. I was like, oh, this kind of jail.
So I get in the bus first, and then Arriyanna gets in, and we're literally just like laid up, like.
I see Amber, and I just started busting out laughing. I'm like, bro, we didn't really got arrested. Like, it didn't hit me that we really got arrested until we got on the bus, and we were like.
There was this girl that she was able to get her wrist out of her zip tie, and Arriyanna was like, can you text my mom? I'm like, yeah, can you? First of all, I tell her to text my mom, but she ended up texting me, because I was like, wait, why hasn't my mom responded yet? Like, does she not care about me? And I was like, wait, what number that's? She's like, girl, that's my number. And I was like, wait, this is the correct number. So my mom is like, really, Amber?
Yeah.
Then she called the girl. I'm like, if I just told you I was arrested, why would you call them? Then she rejected it, and then my mom was just like, well, at least it's for a good cause. So my mom wasn't tripping, you know.
My mom was. She was mad.
Because my dad didn't want me protesting to begin with, so I'm like, child. So I didn't talk to my dad for the rest of the day. I told my mom, like, I'll get there. But we got arrested around like 9 p.m. and we didn't leave till 11 p.m. So I thought we was waiting on the mail. No, they were just had us there, like just chilling, collecting more people to arrest. I'm like, can we go? So we finally start moving. I'm complaining because those zip ties are really tight. I'm like, bro, it hurts. Like, it was because
I have Erb's palsy in my left arm, which basically means I don't have that much movement. So with my arms being behind my back for so long, this arm back here, like this, I was in pain. Like I was in like true pain. Like you couldn't, like it was like what pain they were feeling, and my left arm, I was feeling it ×3. So I had to tell, like as soon as we got to the place, I was like, can y'all please like loosen this up for me? Like I can't, like I'm so the guy saw that my arm like looked funny, so he kind of helped me out. But yeah,
so we get to the other place, and so it was just like, first of all, we got off the bus and stuff like that. That was like, I guess, the detention center where they're supposed to, like, you know, take our stuff and they process us and stuff like that. We ended up getting out, and then they gave us our stuff, and then we ended up getting right back on the bus. But we go to the restroom, they took my zip ties off. When I tell you that felt so good, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I went to the bathroom, and then the woman, she put the zip ties back on me, but she made it loose this time. So as soon as we got on the bus, I slid out. I was like, thank you, Jesus. So we were in the bus. Everybody, I was just chilling like, yeah, so what y'all getting into?
I'm like, can you scratch my head? Can you scratch my head?
But as soon as like we got to the second whatever police station, they took the zip ties off of us. That's when they patted us down.
It wasn't that bad though. Like I thought when we did the pat down, like I thought, like, you know, in the jail shows it makes you squat and all
like,
that.
I was just like, okay. When we got there, like, because like I told you guys earlier that I ripped my leggings, they had to give me like, you know, orange pants. So I was like, okay, mind you, I'm anemic, so you go see what happens. So
you know, when you think about jail, you're thinking like, oh, you know, like not okay, everyone's innocent and proven guilty, but like I was like, there's gonna be some rough people there. So I'm like, oh Lord, please just let me be able to get in the cell with Amber. Like I don't know none of these folks, but it was actually a cool, like there was a whole bunch of cool people there.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this might not be that bad.
So this is where we get separated. So they ended up putting me in like a cell block room, okay? And it was like, it was white, locked. They had a speaker, so if you need it, and then there was like a little a wall that separated you from the bathroom. And so I was in there for like 2 hours, I want to say, and I was getting irritated. So like there was a group of us, and then they started like carrying like different people out, and it was these two of another girl and I, that we were just in there, and I'm like, bro, why did they keep calling everybody out? So I'm over here using my speaker, like, you know, that we checked last time and they said it was gonna take like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and we still haven't called. They're like, oh, we'll get to you when we get to you. Like they were like processing things. And so I'm over here getting agitated. I'm like, look, this is how I know jail is not for me. Because I was just like, bro, y'all keep repeating yourself and not giving me clear answers. Why are me and this girl, like even people that would came after us were leaving and we were still there. And I'm like, bro, what is this? So they finally let us out, and come to find out, we weren't even in the system. So I'm over here looking. Ariana, the rest, the people that we came in the bus with, were just sitting there chilling. Bro, so I get here and I'm like, what happened? They're like, they haven't processed any of it.
They didn't have they did not have our information in the system. They were like, they didn't even have our arrest number. So I'm like, I'm starting to really get irritated. And normally I don't like talk back to police officers, but like this one cop, he was trying it, because he was like, oh, we don't have it yet. He was like, we just missed a step. You know, he was just making it seem like it was no big deal. Like, oh yeah, they just didn't do what they're supposed to do. I'm like, bro, we've been sitting here for hours. Like at this point, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, y'all, because they told us that we probably wouldn't get out till 11. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm counting down the hours till 11. I'm like, we not even, like, it's freezing cold in the place. And I'm like, come on, like, let's hurry up the process. Like y'all, I know y'all got a whole bunch of like busloads of other people, so y'all sitting here and we just sitting here waiting or whatever. And you know, there's only so much you can talk about with people. So I'm like, we didn't have all the conversations that we can have with these folks. I'm ready to go. So the police officer that was getting on my nerves, he was like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to go do this manually, like basically go find our information and like put our information.
And I kept staring him down. I was like, sir, he was like looking at me, he was like, we're getting it done. I said yes. So I was just like, because you don't have us in the system, can't we like just leave, you know? I was like, you guys don't have anything about us, so it's just like y'all just arrest us for no reason. He was like, no, well, we do have 24 hours to detain you guys. But he's like, either 24 hours or we get this pop. I said, let's get her popping, because let's go. Like I couldn't do 24 hours. The guy finally gets us in the system and stuff. He's like, let me get the last name. I'm like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Like I was like, come on, let's go. And then, so after that, there's like 2 cops that are, I guess, processing. Like, okay, so there's a black man and a black woman that are doing it. And so they were just taking their sweet time. No urgency. I'm like, I know y'all not getting paid by the hour, so like we need to go. So just chilling there, right? And this other girl, right? She's sleeping, and you know when they start calling your name, that means okay, your stuff is getting through, whatever. So she's asleep and they call her name and stuff. So she's like, oh yeah, I get to go. So she goes, right? And we're like, yeah, she get to go.
She walked back and she's like, and we look at, I'm like, that girl looks familiar. She was like, they made me take my wig off. I was like, yeah. I'm like, I bet they made me take mine off earlier in the game because that is kind of familiar.
So that's when like I ended up going and he ends up processing me. He was just like, do you want to get numbers down? So I'm over here on my phone, like, I'm over here checking messages and stuff. So I'm writing down people's numbers, like, just people numbers I don't have. And I have that. Mind you, I didn't even take my line sister's number down and she lives out here. But, so they do that, blah, 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 whatever. And then that's when I'm able to move up. And that's when me and Arriyanna get separated. So, the man's processing mine, but the woman is doing hers.
Girl, she's taking her sweet time. Like, I'm sitting here, she's like, well, honestly, it ended up being good because she messed up my last name. Mind you, my license was right there, but I think she kind of saw, like, I don't know what she was thinking. I'm not going to say what I think she was thinking, but she messed up my last name. So anyway, so she was taking her sweet time. Like, they were like, oh, can you, they're like, oh, we need to be this thrown away. She was like, oh, I got it. I'm like, girl, finish processing me so I can go to the back. So the other man, he was getting people in, like, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Like me, I was
like my lady, she was taking her sweet time, and I'm sitting there like, sis, like, it don't take that long to get somebody processed through. And she just laughing, joking, like, hey y'all, I see y'all back there, ha ha. And I'm like, girl, we don't care, just get me through. So I finally get through. Amber's gone by this time. So this is our first step to getting, like, taken up to the the guy was like, when y'all get processed, y'all gonna go left, and you go right, then you go left. So like, you gonna go upstairs and you gonna go downstairs. So I'm sitting there like, what? Anyways, so we still we still haven't met up yet. So I'm sitting there waiting. It's freezing cold in that place. Like, you don't know time because literally, like, there's no clocks around. Like, you're like going crazy because you're like, okay, what time is it? So I just kept people asking the people like what time it is, and they were getting irritated. I'm like, y'all don't have clock where I'm at. Hadn't talked to my mom in hours. So I'm like, I know she's freaking out. Like, I just want to get a phone call in. So there was one girl that was sitting next to me. We over here talking about protesting, and I was like, oh yeah, what you here for? And she was like, I thought she protested with you got obstruction of roadway. She said, no, I got assault with deadly weapon. I said, but she was real cool though. But she was saying, like, she was telling her life story, and I was like, yeah, girl, you gonna be in here for a while. But
there was this other girl that we was in the bus with. She was just very, pro-black. You can tell that she had a strong type A personality and stuff like that. But there's a time and place where it's just like, girl, give it a rest. Okay, we already been arrested. We're going to jail. Just let bygones be bygones.
Right.
She was just doing that.
The police officer, he was laughing. She's like, you don't have the right to laugh. I said, oh, I'm not with her.
Yeah, she was just complaining the whole time. I mean, not with her. I was like, my hair. I was like, girl, shut.
Yeah, she was like, it was like she was doing it on purpose, but I'm like, you have to think about it. Like, these people, like, we're trying to go. Like, if you want to protest against the system, we get it. Like, but at this point, we can't do nothing. We sitting here with these police officers that have control over our everyday, like, our every move. Like, literally, I went to go to the bathroom. I had to ask to go to the bathroom. Like, I'm like, what is this? And then let's talk about how, like, the place wasn't dirty, but the way that they have it, and it's kind of messed up, like the prison system is messed up. Why is it that you have to use the restroom, and then the same water, like the water fountain is on top, so if you wanted to drink some water, you had to go in the restroom and drink it from the thing. I say that's like,
I didn't drink or eat. They were giving us they gave us bread, cheese, ham, and cookies. I only ate the cookies. I said, y'all can have the rest. I don't know where these prisoners and COVID come in.
No, while we were sitting back there, the police officer, he was like, yeah, she has COVID-19. Everybody was like, huh? COVID? He was like, no, she hasn't been arrested yet. I said, because I'm pretty sure the person probably was in the jail. They just didn't want to say nothing. Yeah. But I'm like, COVID-19, like, that's a big thing. Like, they did not care anyway.
The only thing they gave us was masks. I was like, okay, at least
we had that same mask on the whole time.
When Arriyanna was doing it, I was already being moved up and stuff. They were giving me through like for a cool minute. Then it went stagnant. So I'm over here waiting. When I was waiting for her, it was taking her forever
to get through the system. Like, for some reason, like, my group, they were taking the longest time. Why wouldn't I see her? This girl is dressed up. I said, not Amber. I'm like, you would not have to dress out, girl. Like,
I was cold. I was like, I can't can't do this. I was like, this is a lot. Like it was freezing in there. Like freezing.
And then so when I finally got back, I got to talk to my mom or whatever. So my mom, she was like a big help during this process because she just like, even like every time I called her, she answered. Like there was no time that I called her and I was like, you know, she never answered the phone for me. And really all I wanted to do was talk about what time it was. Like, cause at this point I was like, she was looking through my name. So she saw Amber's name. So we got pushed back to another room, and so Amber, we were sitting there for a while, and then Amber ended up leaving, and so I'm like, okay, cool. So she was like 2 groups ahead of me, so I should be good to go. So they call 2 groups ahead, and I call my mom, and I'm like, yeah, mom, like they still haven't called me yet. And she was like, well, I just checked the system. Amber's name was processed, so that's probably why she left. And then she was like, well, it took between 15 minutes for Amber to get her name to go to the system before they call her name. So you know, just wait a minute, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck there, and at that point, like people would like when she left, there was a lady, and she was so rude. Like she just like for some reason, like she took that power, like whatever the power that she had, she took that for granted. Like one girl asked her, no, as soon as she came into her shift, the hand sanitizer that was, you know, out there, she took the hand sanitizer down, and then she was like, so we were like, oh, you know, can I have, the one girl was like, can I have some hand sanitizer? She was like, oh, we're all out. And she was like, the bottle was literally right there. Like she was just being like super rude, and it's like, at this point, sis, we're just ready to go. Like you don't have to be that rude. You know that we're not in here for no major charge. Like we're only in here for a misdemeanor. Like we get it. And so pretty much like this one girl, she was like, she just kept calling her like Dusty Wig, and she kept saying like, she was like, with your Dusty Wig, like going back and forth with her. And so I was like, all right, go girl, yeah, we trying to go. Like you know, the process.
So she's still in the room. I'm far gone. Like I'm moving through the rooms and stuff like that. I meet with like a pre-trial. I get on a PR, like just come back on this court date, blah blah blah. I'm like, for sure. I get to this one room where we're almost close to like where we were able to get our property. So, and I remember finally getting to the release area, and they're like, oh, we can't like release you if you have like the jumpsuit on, whatever. I go to the back and I rip that off. They're like, oh, do you want like a cover up? I was like, no, I don't even care if my ass is showing, just get me out of here. So they processed me out. But we have to go to one more room where they give you your phone, like all your electronics. Yeah. I got that shit. My phone was blown up. Like people were like, Amber, are you okay? Like Amber, like I heard they're arresting people. We saw on the news and stuff like that. So my phone's blown up. My line says, we have a message. They're like, and we track each other. So they're like, you know, Amber's location's off. I haven't heard from her. My line sister ended up posting bail for me, and they're like, it's gonna be another 6 to 8 hours. Mind you, she didn't even have to do that, so she ended up having to come back the next day so she can get her money back, because I got released on like a PR bond, like a free bond and stuff like that. And so I called Arriyanna's mom. I was like, you know, I'm out, you know, Arriyanna's still in there, I don't know, I'm gonna wait out here. So I waited like a good hour and stuff like that. Mind you, they were outside of the jail, there was like people like basically camped out giving you food, water, Gatorade, like stuff like that. And so
we went what, like 11, 12, probably like 16 hours without water, without like proper food. Like it was really bad.
Just cookie.
Yeah.
They said call my mom, she's glad I'm okay, whatever. So I waited, and I go to like, you know, the waiting area or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I want to see like how long is this person going to be released. And the guy, he was just like, oh, it says like she hasn't even been entered in the system. I was like, that's a lie, because she's been moving throughout the system. I was like, we got lost like one point. They're like, well, our system doesn't. I just called somebody, and he was just like, are you in law school? I said, yes sir. He was like, I hate for you to be my lawyer because you're person. I said, exactly, I need answers or whatever. Yeah. So he's like, she probably won't be out till like 5 or 6 o'clock.
So for me, like I didn't understand why, because literally me and Amber got booked at the same time, so or a little bit late, like I had a little bit more time, like less than her. And so yeah, so I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. Like y'all, the waiting game is so annoying. Like you're just sitting there just waiting for your name to be called. So at some point, you know, I'm calling my mom, and I know like the charges was racking up because I kept calling her. And so I was like, Mom, like what's going on? So at this point she's like, well, Arriyanna, let's get you a lawyer so we can figure out, so he can come, you know, at least, you know, post bond, whatever. So I'm like, I don't think I need a lawyer. I was like, they said they were going to drop our charges. So she was like, just give me me your information. I was like, Mom, all I know is my name. Like, that's all I really have. And she was like, well, it's not showing up in the system. And so I was like, someone told me, look at your wristband. So I looked at my wristband. I was like, oh, they messed up my last name. So then she pulled up my last name. She's like, oh, well, you're good. Like, you're, you know, she's like, it's saying that you're supposed to be released. So I'm like, well, this says I'm supposed to be released. Why am I still here? Like, I'm still in the room where you're waiting for your name to be called to go talk to the judge or like whatever, talk to the DA. And so I'm just sitting there. So thank God the shift changed. And so the lady that I was telling y'all how she was just rude, she left and like new people came in. So I'm sitting there. I took this as a learning experience. Seeing how the system was set up, I was like, so one thing like you guys should know is that if you get arrested, one thing black people, all black people, well, any race really, when you have, like, make sure you stay with money, like make sure you have actual cash flow, like actual like cash on you, because they won't take your cards. So like when I was like, oh Mom, I can just I have my credit card, she was like okay, cool. When I went up and talked to the guy, the police officer, he was like, no, he was like, we don't take credit cards. So I'm like, yes. And then I'm still sitting there, still waiting. You know, I tell the police officer that thank God someone told me to get up and go talk to him. Mind y'all, we hadn't taken showers or anything, so I'm feeling musty. Like I'm like, ugh, I just feel dirty. So anyway, so I'm going up to talk to police officers, and I was like, you know, I was like, my friend just got out. Like I was like, we literally got processed at the same time, booked at the same time. Like what's going on? So he was like, that can't be true. And I was like, yeah. And so he like looks up Amber's information. He's like, oh yeah, she's released. I said, well, where am I? And then he pulls mine. He's like, well, yeah, yours says you're supposed to be released. And I was like, so what's going on? So when the shift changed, I talked to this black woman. She came in. She was like, I don't know what these other shifts have been doing. She was like, this is how we gonna work. This is how we gonna do things. So she didn't have my name, and so she was like, what's your name? Like she was talking to me, and I was like, yeah, like my mom told me that I'm supposed to be released or whatever. So she looks and she's like, yeah. She's like, why are you here? I was like, you tell me, sis. Like y'all got me here. So she called another person. They come and they get me out, and they take me to the next room, and this is the room where you're waiting for your DA. So I'm in a group with a whole bunch of other people, and they're just saying like, oh, they said another 6 to 8 hours. I said, y'all can't do another 6 to 8 hours. Go talk to the lady and see what's going on with your thing. So I go talk to her, and she's like, oh yeah, you're supposed to go. So she calls up the other lady. So pretty much after that, my process kind of went by super fast, and I'm like, thank God. Like at this point, it's like 5 o'clock. I'm like, I'm ready to go. So I didn't dress down because I was like, y'all not gonna get me. I'm not gonna have no little orange jumpsuit on, whatever. Like 3 hours later, when I was like, man, what's going on? Mom told me I'm supposed to be released. I cried. I was like, Mom, they like trying to break us. I was like, I don't understand. Like these people are just so rude. They over here giving us bologna sandwiches. I don't even eat bologna. I don't know less than I ate bologna.
We're
like,
not even real criminals.
Right. I'm like in the water. Like I told her, she was like, oh, that's disgusting. I said, exactly. I don't want that. So I didn't drink no water. I was probably dehydrated. Like I know I actually was dehydrated because like as soon as I got home, I was drinking water. Like it was nothing. Like I mean, you really understand like what people go through, you know, when they're in the prison system, and it's not okay. Like they don't treat you like you're a human. They treat you like you're a number, like inmate 2234. And so I got called before one of the guys, and he had been there for 2 hours, and he was pissed. Like he was like, they was like, you better calm down or we gonna keep you here longer. He was like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, where was that energy? I was like, energy. Called my Uber. I already felt bad for the Uber. Whoever Uber it was, I had to give her a tip because I know I was musty. Like I knew I was musty in that Uber. So as soon as I got home, honey, I ran to the shower. Like I'm like, for some reason, like it wasn't a bad experience, but it's an experience that you never want to experience again.
Yeah, I never want to go. They move like, I don't know if you guys saw Zootopia, the part where they're in the DMV and there's sloths. That's how they move in the prison system. They're taking their sweet ass time, have no sense of urgency. They're very lackadaisical. Like I don't know, you know, just things like that. It's like, come on, like why with all this paperwork? Come on, like there needs to be a faster way. The justice system is really too slow. There needs to be a faster way because just sitting there having to wait, like taking 2 to 3, like no, that shouldn't be it. And then them not having it, our group being the miscellaneous group, not having us in the system, not having our numbers, things like that. That's just unorganized, and they weren't doing their due diligence. And I'm like, so this is what people like, even, and we didn't even do anything. So imagine if we did do stuff, how would they treat us? It was just too much. I was just like, I can't. I will never go back. Now we still gonna protest. I'll bet you that in the daytime. Right, in the daytime.
In the daytime.
But like, I was just like, this is just too much.
It didn't break me enough to the point where I never will protest again, because honestly I will go back out there tomorrow and protest, because it's not like we still protested for a reason. Like we got arrested for a reason, we got locked up for a reason. Like this wasn't just because we was doing something stupid, right? It was like honestly, if like people found this on my record or something happened, like I would be proud to tell them like why this happened. Because if you think about it, like profound leaders were arrested for their rights and for their beliefs, like Congressman John Lewis, Martin Luther King, like so many other people have Martin King Jr. They got arrested for believing, like for what they believe in. And so this was like a profound experience. And also with us being in law school, like one thing I took from it was we'll be a better attorneys because we know what happens to people in the right. Yeah, so like when now I know that, you know, when I'm when someone's in jail and they, you know, reach out to me, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to make sure they know the time, because that's one thing that you just don't have that luxury of knowing is the time. Like, you know, how are they treating you, what are they saying, like, you know, just keeping them updated on their case, because you're literally in there not knowing anything.
I ask questions and people don't want to give you answers,
right?
It's just
like you did something wrong. Yeah, we protested.
I'm just asking, like, how far are you in the paperwork? Oh, we got a lot to do. Having 15 computers and only 3 workers working, and there's hella policemen there lined up to work.
Yeah, so overall it wasn't a bad experience. It was an enlightening experience. I think it will help us create us to be better attorneys. If anything, I was like appreciative of everything. Like I was like, yeah, I got my bag. Yeah, I have, like, because you think about it, like this is somebody's reality, right? Yeah, we only were in there for 11 hours, but you know, these are people that have been there for years. People that have been there for years, for, you know, months, for like we don't know people's journey. And so to have to go through that, I'm like, okay, now I know that, like, as an attorney, these are the things that I have to do to, you know, make them feel comfortable, because there's already an uncomfortable situation. You're literally stripped from the real world and put into this world. And I will say that they really, as the prison system, they really have to do better. Like, especially with COVID-19 going on, like there should be no reason why we only get 1 mask to wear for 11 hours. There should be no reason why they're not going around consistently making sure people are good. Like, continue to protest, continue, like Black lives do matter. They're going to continue to matter.
Petitions, donate. Right. I donated to Color of Change and Unicorn Riot. So
change starts with the people that you choose to represent you. So if you're just going to the polls or not going to the polls either, you can't be upset when change doesn't happen, right? Because you are the people, you are electing these people to represent your community. And if they're not doing that, you need to vote them out. It's time for them to go. It's time for a change. You know, I think 2020, I always joke about this, but everybody's like, oh, 2020 is ruined. No, this is like the time, nothing, like we don't have anything to block our vision from like what's really going on in the world. You know, with the Black Lives Matter movement, it used to be where, yeah, we're upset, but we're only gonna be upset for a week and then we go back, oh, basketball's playing. We don't have those things to distract us. So continue to understand, continue to learn, continue, like, you know, if you don't know how the political system works, shameless plug, you can follow my Instagram, the Black Girl Politico, and I'm just talking about, like, you know, the words of the day, like giving you a better understanding what politics is, and like how you can, as a citizen of the United States, how your voice can be heard. So get out there, continue to protest, continue to fight, continue to be the best person that you can be. If you want to be an attorney, do it. If you want to be a doctor, do it. We need you, especially in the Black community. We need you to come out and make a difference. We love you. We're gonna always protect you. Black men love our Black women. Black women love our Black men. Let's come together. This is not the time for us to be separate. This is time for us to come together as a community.
That's the end. So I hope you guys appreciate, or liked her story time, how my roommate got me arrested. And yeah, hope you guys like her video. Bye.